I'm genuinely surprised that Sunday actually got let out of the Hoyoverse storage, that we're finally gonna be able to pull for him. I am genuinely so goddamn excited. However, one of the things that didn't click initially well with me was the fact that he was gonna be a harmony and imaginary character. And over time, the more I thought about it, and the reason why I'm making this video is to kind of explain why I adore the fact that he is from this path and this element. Like, legitimately speaking, the more I looked at him, the more I analyzed, the more I overthought about things, the more I loved the flavor design that they have added for him. And there are some things that I want to talk about that I really am very excited. And in particular, I want to talk in this video about how perfectly opposite both Sunday and Robin are. So with that being said, let us start the video. So to start things off, I want to talk about the main thing that we all were definitely looking at, and that has to be Sunday's splash art. And in particular, I want to mention how both Robin and Sunday's splash art make a beautiful job to make this contrast between both characters. In particular, the fact that Sunday, when you look at the post that they gave him, he is reaching out to someone. He is ascending but trying to hold on to someone that is reaching their hand out. And very lovingly and very ironically, Robin has that same pose, except she is the one that's extending the hand to catch someone, or to be like, here, help, like, I'll help you out. I got you. Right? In a certain way, Robin's is sending out aid while Sunday is asking for the aid. And personally speaking, that is just so goddamn beautiful. Additionally, the main thing that I personally have adored from a sort of visual concept, right, is how Robin Splasher, we see her in a broken cage, but regardless, it's more like through her own efforts, she broke the cage. She has been freed from the shackles of just generally everything that happened within the Penacony story. And alternatively, though, we have Sunday, who's still being shackled and kept in place by a sort of golden tether. It looks like abundance roots, I'm not gonna lie, even though I don't think that it's gonna be like Xianzhou related. It's just kind of interesting that there are these golden roots attached to him and sort of pulling him down. And to a certain extent, I kind of feel like that has to be a sort of punishment from the things that he did in the past, all the lives that he potentially ruined while he was in Penacony, which also drives me to the next point that I want to talk about as well, is how, in Robin's case, this image that she has in her splash art shows her leaving, just like she left Penacony. As she left Penacony, she's looking for a different future. She's moving ahead. She's literally hoping for new things, new experiences. She wants to make a new life. On the other hand, Sunday has the regrets of his past tied next to him. Whatever he does from this point on, he has to live with the fact that he did awful things. He was, to a certain extent, a horrible person. And I say to a certain extent because I don't believe that he is a villain. He 100% was a bad guy. He was an antagonist. But by no means do I believe that he did the things that he did out of genuine malice. After all, in the flashback with the Charmony Festival bird, dove, the Charmony dove, yeah, he mentions how he wanted to keep the bird in a cage because he wanted to make sure that the bird would be safe. And he genuinely, like this is an actual child saying these things. He's saying, I want to make sure that it's safe. I don't want anything bad to happen. If I keep it safe, if I'm the one that takes care of it, I can ensure that it will live a lengthy and proper life. I say proper to a certain extent because there's also the concepts of freedom and everything that Robin represents. And personally speaking, I genuinely do adore to see that. But what I'm trying to say, and I know that I got a little bit derailed over there, is that, yeah, Robin is moving forward, looking into the future, while he's also moving forward after the opportunity he was given from the Jade deal. He doesn't really have the ability to look forward into the future. He just has the ability to look at the past and the things that he did and repent from those things. And I personally love that sort of parallel and state of limbo that both siblings have been left in, where Robin can no longer help Sunday due to the deal that she did with Lady Bonajade, but she definitely is still rooting for him. And given the fact that, we're gonna be meeting him in the story, I'm assuming, because he got drip marketed in that beautiful new outfit, by the way, I'm assuming that it's gonna be us from the Astral Express that are gonna essentially help guide him and make sure that he can look into the future. We're gonna see character development, and that is the main thing that I absolutely adore. We're probably gonna see him moping around and being very self-critical of himself. But in all honesty, after seeing so many of the stories that they have done at the Cianjolo, especially with the Wardens and the whole concept with Luca, I cannot wait to see what kind of message that they try to spread through Sunday. And I'm really hoping it can be uplifting for people, because genuinely speaking, to this day, I'm looking back at the Luca storyline in the Wardens, and it makes me happy. It makes me want to move forward, and legitimately speaking, it helped me out a lot. I was in a little bit of a dark time, but that story legitimately boosted my morale in a way that I genuinely didn't think was possible. The next thing that I would want to cover for this video has got to be both of the siblings' ideologies and how much they contrast with one another, yet they genuinely do believe these things are done for the greater good. On one hand, we have Robin's freedom, where she wants to make sure that everybody can live their own lives, that they can do whatever they want, that so long as they can be happy and spread this joy around the world, they can just do whatever they want and live in harmony. They can support each other, help each other, create something new together. On the other hand, we have Sunday's need for control, his obsession with making sure that things are in order. But at the same time, it is important to note that this doesn't stem from malice. At no point did he want to become the villain of Penacony. He genuinely was doing this to become the savior of the people in Penacony, to bring them eternal bliss. But at the same time, he kind of overlooked the fact that not everyone wants to have that lifestyle, and he was imposing that upon others. And that is where he became an antagonist, but not necessarily a villain. He did things that were incredibly screwed up. He was very conniving. He became very shady. But look at him in the past. He used to be just a child who was looking out for a Charmony dove, who the moment that it became free, that he let it fly out, go back to nature, it almost immediately just died. It crashed against a window and it was gone forever. When even him trying to provide help for a stowaway in Penacony ended up just becoming absolutely nothing. It ended up making things worse. I don't remember the complete storyline, but from what I recall, I remember that the stowaway had like sold his children and he was seeking help, that he was gonna make up everything, he was gonna get the money, but he needed to get away from the hounds. And Sunday pardoned him because he believed in the greater good, and it was only after being wronged by existence that he became very narcissistic. And we even see this through himself. He genuinely sacrifices himself to become the great Septimuss. Take into account, this was supposed to be Robin. Robin was supposed to invoke the great harmonious choir, but Sunday took that upon himself because this would be risky if he made Robin do this. He willingly put himself out there, and on one hand, we know that Robin would have never agreed to do anything like that, but he preferred to himself take this role rather than have Mr. Gopherwood force Robin into this. At the end of the day, this is yet another difference I feel that is important to highlight. Robin was able to leave Penacony. She left the shelter that she was born and raised into, and she was able to learn from different cultures, different people. She was able to expand her knowledge, and in that way, she was able to grow. Sunday, on the other hand, as far as I'm aware at least, never actually got to leave Penacony. He was older. He was always sheltered by Mr. Gopherwood. He was always being indoctrinated to follow the order. That is everything that he knew, and even when he tried to be supportive and go out of line from what Gopherwood had taught him, it only ended up in disaster. It is because of this childhood ignorance that he ended up maintaining, that he ended up developing a savior complex, because he didn't want things to fall awry and chaos to ensue. He genuinely did want the best for people, but he just didn't understand that that is not what people want. And hopefully, now that he is out of Penacony, now that he is somewhere in the cosmos, he can finally learn what Robin saw during her travels across the galaxy, universe, whatever space-time continuum Honkai Star Rail is happening in. I hope we can see some of the growth that Robin experienced, but through Sunday's eyes. And that is something that genuinely I am very excited for. Before we actually move on to the last segment, I just want to take this quick moment to say, hey, if you've reached this far into the video and you're enjoying what you're hearing so far, maybe consider subscribing. It's free, it only takes a second, and if at any point you feel like the quality of my content or the things that I'm spewing out are just not to your liking anymore, you're more than welcome to unsubscribe. I definitely want to keep on improving. I want to keep making videos that are engaging, interesting for you, or that just make you guys think about stuff that you normally wouldn't about Star Rail. Because genuinely speaking, the lore, characters, possibilities, theories, just small little pieces of information that are out there are incredibly interesting to me. They bring life into the game, and it just makes this game that much more enjoyable to me. On another note, I also want to add that this video would not have been possible without these two videos from Shiro Matsunoki, someone that I have had the pleasure to get to know of through these YouTube videos. He's also a content creator, so definitely watch these two videos out. The Robin and Sunday videos have been absolutely great and helped me further understand more about Sunday as a character, and honestly that second part is very heavily inspired on things that he essentially said throughout his video. So if you want another type of analysis, another type of view, definitely check out his channel. That being said, Before I forget, I just want to say thank you guys for helping me reach 2,930 subscribers. We are currently on our way to 3,000, and that still blows my mind away. So, yeah, thank you so much for all the love, all the support, all the comments. I genuinely adore engaging with you guys. And also, I know that this week I didn't get to stream because there has been construction outside of my door. That being said, though, I was very happy to do a Twitch stream last week. So hopefully, once they finish doing construction outside my place, I can go back to doing some streams and be silly with you guys, especially when the new patch drops and we all start overthinking the hell out of the lore. So, yeah, with that being said, let's get back into the video. So, for this last segment of the video, I want to talk about gameplay. Now, I know that there's nothing that we know about Sunday's gameplay. However, I want to make some educated guesses in hopes to show why I believe this would be Sunday's kit, why they would want to emphasize again this contrast between Sunday and Robin, and I think it would just be like incredibly beautiful for just flavor design. Again, you guys know that I'm addicted to flavor design. But I want to leave a quick disclaimer before we begin, and it is that please do not talk about leaks. It is important that Hoyo doesn't think that I'm actually letting out details from their game. At no point do I ever want to talk about leaks. I will never talk about leaks within these videos. So with that being cleared out, let us actually begin by mentioning the things that I wanted to say. And the very first thing, the very first detail that I genuinely adored so much about this contrast of Robin and Sunday has gotta be their elements. Robin is physical, while Sunday is imaginary. Isn't it just perfectly lovely that Robin is the one that wanted to leave the dream world and return to reality, the physical existence of a person? Sunday, on the other hand, in his endeavors to make sure that nobody leaves the dreamscape, wanted to keep everything in just an imaginary state. Something that isn't real. Something that cannot exist. I personally just from that little detail, I am a huge fan of why Sunday is now a harmony unit. Not a harmony unit, an imaginary unit. I love the fact that he's harmony as well, though, because, you know, he is part of the Order, but they mention a lot that the Order is very similar to the Harmony, so I can excuse that. I would have loved for him to be an Annihility character, but he's a Harmony character, and I still do like it very much. So I'm not going to complain about that anymore. The next thing that I love that could be potentially related to their gameplay is that Sunday would be, in my mind, a break effect character. Because why not make him something completely opposite to Robin? Robin focuses on a team that wants to do as much crit damage and crit rate as possible. On Sunday wouldn't work with that. In Sunday's perspective, and honestly just in Penacony, because all the characters that we were getting through there were focused on break effect. I feel like, to a certain extent, break effect is just more ominous, and it fits the sort of dreamlike state that Sunday represents, while Robin being focused on crit is more realistic to a physical setting. This is also why I genuinely do adore that they have their respective elements, because I forgot to mention this as well. Physical has the highest multiplier in the game for break effect. On the other hand, or not break effect, for weakness broken. On the other hand, imaginary, if I recall correctly, has one of the lowest, but it focuses on slowing down the opponents. This is also something that I want to add onto this. In Sunday's splash art, we see these sort of spirits that help him out in the Septimuss boss fight. And one of the main things they do is that they slow down your team. They delay a character's action by a percentage that I do not really know, but that's what they do. So hopefully he has a summon for these little whatever the hell they are, and we can see a character that is now gonna be delaying enemies, doing super break damage, and I just feel like it would be very clever for them to just separate these two characters away from each other. On one hand, yes, it would make me sad that they cannot work together in a team, but wouldn't that be just perfect for flavor? Make it tragic for the players that they cannot play them together because in lore they are physically not allowed to interact with each other because of Lady Bonajade's deal. I don't know. I just genuinely, this is like a weird take I think that I'm going to have, but yeah, I don't want them to work together. I want them to be so incompatible within a team that it is a detriment for us to put them together. I'm pretty sure somebody will find a way to make that a reality though, but like, I want it to be hard. And maybe I'm just going too hard on this, but I don't know, just flavor wise, I would be a huge fan. Needless to say, beyond that, I can't really know what else is gonna happen with Sunday. All I really am hoping for is that obviously that he buffs damage for the team. On one hand, it would be a bit rough if he was a super break support because we already have a free one with the Trailblazer, but I'm gonna be biased in the fact that I want them to just do this because I said so. And yeah, let me know down in the comments what would you expect from Sunday. I'm very curious to see what other people's takes on him are. So yeah, that is the end of this video. If you have reached this far, first of all, I want to say thank you very much for your time. I've been hearing from you guys that some of you are watching me while you eat your lunch, dinner, like breakfast. That is a huge compliment. Being someone's entertainment for their free time whenever they're like eating is huge because that is what I would do when I was watching like game theory or things like that. So just like being placed in that position, to me at least, is a huge honor. So I just want to thank you guys legitimately so much for all the kind words and all the support in the latest videos. It really means a lot to me. Once again, also thank you very much for those that have been subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't, hey, it's free. It only takes a second. And if at any point you feel like the quality of my content or just the things that I'm seeing in general are no longer appealing to you, you are more than welcome to unsubscribe. I'm not gonna just keep you hostage in here. I really appreciate the support, and I do want to improve the things, like the content and everything that I do in this channel. So all of you guys being here just drives me forward to hopefully make better videos. Yeah, it still breaks my mind that we are very close to reaching 3,000 subscribers. Y'all are insane, but y'all make me happy. I also would like to know, so if you guys are able to leave that in the comments, what are topics you guys would want me to cover in these videos? I have a couple that I am just thinking about. In all honesty, this was like a last second creation of a video, but I was just very excited to talk about these two characters, especially again after like the Sunday drip marketing. It just suddenly bursted a passion in me that I wanted to talk about these things, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you all. So if there's any things, any topics, any kind of whatever that you want to like talk about, by all means, feel free to leave it down in the comments. I'm always more than happy to reply to you guys, have interactions with you guys, getting to know what your guys' opinions are. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you'll have a great rest of your day, night, morning, whatever time zone applies to you at the current moment of watching this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.